All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Evil Eye. Feels like ages since I've spoken to you guys. Really just dealing with my temperamental internet, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will be resolved next week. But I can't not do an episode of this thing. So let's just see what happens. Um, Thought I'd talk to you guys about the international break and the international week. It always seems like such a drag whenever international breaks come round. Does anyone actually enjoy them anymore? Because I'm pretty sure no one seems to enjoy them. Um, everything stops. Match of the day stops. Your general excitement for the weekend. Well, to be fair, that don't stop, but it takes a little bit of garnish off it. Um, for me, who's a fantasy football fiend, that stops, and the excitement of that, which reminds me, I need to make some changes to my team. And just general kind of horseplay with around football, and also just the emotion that comes with football, particularly if you're an Arsenal fan. So when an international break comes, it's like, yeah, we want to see our countries do well and stuff, but it's always such a drag, particularly because if there's no tournament like a World Cup or a Euros, it's like who cares? Like who really gives a shit? Like to be honest, and I'm speaking as someone who watched Nigeria perform pretty well um, in their um, in their World Cup qualifiers. Key game, which was an away game, and we won. So my boy Awobes and Ian Nacho scored the two goals. So can't complain. 1-2-1 against Zambia. And I know you're thinking, Zambia? Trust me. Much like Arsenal, that's the type of game in the past Nigeria would go and mess around and lose 3-0. So trust me, they are the difficult team in the group. So that I was very, very happy with and very relieved with because I want to make sure we make it to that 2018 World Cup. And I actually tuned into both England games. I kind of wish I didn't. Particularly that second one. Oh my gosh, I was so bored. I was so bored. But I stuck it out. I watched and I watched and I watched. And thankfully it was over. Oh my gosh. And just to think that this is the same team and the same manager that all these pundits are pushing for Southgate to get the job permanently, all because they want an English coach. I don't know. To me, that's insane. Like, what do you guys reckon? Like, honestly, I'm not an England hater. Well, I was born here, I was growing up here. I can never hate the England team. I want to see England do well. But I kind of have a bit of an underdog mentality, which might make you wonder, well, why don't you then support him? And I hear you, and I hear you, but I'm not gonna lie. My mum grew me up on two things when it came to football. Arsenal was number one, was number two. I can't break that now. Um, I am a massive Nigeria football fan because when they get it right, they're an exciting team to watch. They don't often get it right. That's the only problem. But yeah, and so I mean, it's even watching them. It's just a drag. You just think of just for me, the international break is about holding my breath until the Arsenal players return back safe, sound, no dramas, no injuries. And as I record this, or as I stream this out to you guys today at 8 o'clock on the 13th of October, there are no new injuries, no new concerns. If anything, we've actually had some good news this week when it comes to injuries. So Ramsey is back in full training, which I know will shock you guys. Like, what? Did Did you just say that it was good news that Ramsey came back? Yes, I don't hate the man. Despite what I'm tweeting out, I know people tweet me all the time saying to me, "Oh, you're such a Ramsey hater." I'm not a Ramsey hater per se. I just think sometimes he upsets the balance of our team. Back, I'd rather have him as an option than not on the bench. From the bench, I must stress this. But yeah, so I don't think he's going to be in the squad for Swansea, but he's back in full training, which is good. Apparently, Giroud's in light training. And yeah, so all things are looking rosy. I actually think the only person out, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, or I won't need to tell you twice. As far as I know, it's just Welbeck and Mertesacker are still out. So yeah, I mean, pretty good fucking news. I know Perez is supposed to be in the squad for the weekend, so that's good. So yeah, there was also a concern that because Ozil went off at halftime against Northern Ireland, that he also had an injury, which would have been like, oh no, really? But no, apparently all is well. He's going all guns blazing as well. So all good. I can't really complain when you think about it like that. I cannot complain. So I mean, onwards and upwards, really, and it's about kind of making sure that we continue our good form prior to the international break, and it's about us really getting back to business and knuckling down and making sure that we do the things that we're supposed to do. Speculation about our team. So over the course of this week, it has been a relatively quiet week. It usually is when it comes to international breaks. But if there's two stories that's following us around, one of them I'm not worried about. The other one I am shitting myself about. The one about Pep. So that's the second time I'm calling Pep. I apologize. My gosh, what's the matter with me? So Per has apparently had talks with two clubs, Werder Bremen and I think it's I know it's wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hamburg, I think is the other one. I'm fairly certain that is incorrect though. But Werder Bremen is definitely one of the clubs because this is former club, and they're really interested about having him back. I was having this discussion with my friend about a week ago. Funny enough, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Jay! You're listening to this. And between us, we were talking about it, and he said, to be honest with you, even if that's the case, he wouldn't mind seeing Pep. Stop calling him Pep. Stay, for the simple reason that he offers us some experience, and he'll be good for the dressing room. And yeah, this is all well and good, but I heard the same type of bars for Arteta. And I'll say about Per what I'll say about I'm going to call him Mertesacker from now on. There's no way of stopping doing that. I'm going to say it's the same thing about Mertesacker as I said about Arteta, and that is it's been a good influence in the dressing room. But when you're not playing, you're not playing. And for me, he's 32. He probably still has a couple of years left to play, to be fair. He's not a bad player. I don't even necessarily think he's a bad Arsenal Premier League player. But I'm sure at his age he'll want to play. And you must be joking if you feel like he's ahead of Mustafi and Koscielny. I probably harshly don't think he's ahead of Holding necessarily. I think Holding, you mark my words, Holding is going to be a really good player. You mark my words. So I'm of the kind of mindset where I think we can let him go. It's not like we've had to have him this season. We've replaced his experience in a way with younger, faster, fitter experience in Mustafi. And that is the cold way of looking at it. We have hit, when you see those memes where you say you hit the upgrade button, that's exactly what we've done. We've had to pay £35 million to do it. And when you pay £35 million, you expect an upgrade on something. I don't care what you're buying. If you pay £35 million for something, you expect an upgrade of whatever it is you are looking for. So, I think for me, I hold no grudges. I bear no grudges for him speaking to his old club. Personally, if the move is there, I could probably see happening is him going in January on loan. But then he's only got 6 months left of his contract by the time January comes around. So to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing him stay for the rest of the season, seeing out his contract, and just being the good, influential kind of person in the dressing room. Someone like Holding is going to need him. So just being a really good influence for him and making sure that Holding comes through well. And not to mention, we've still got Chambers on loan, who I think the more games he'll get for Middlesbrough, because the last game he played for Middlesbrough, he played pretty well. So obviously, I like to watch the kids. I like to watch certain people on loan. Like I watch Jack on loan. I watch Callum on loan. So I want to make sure these guys do well because I think they'll come back next season stronger for it. I even watched John Torrell. I don't even watch the Spanish league that much, but I even watched John Torrell where he's at. So mainly because I think these three guys will be part of the squad next season. So we've already got Pers. Oh, I say right. Pers replacement already in Chambers. So I think we'll be all right. I really do. I think we'll be okay. So for me, I'd be more than happy to let him go. And then the other one, this is the one that I'm not going to lie, it scares me. So it broke yesterday. Well, to be honest, I say it broke yesterday. It broke kind of Tuesday evening and then spilled into that, according to that Bellerin's people, i.e. his agent, is holding out for Barca to make contact with them. We know Barca are interested in him, as is Pep. I actually said that name right as well, as is Pep from Man City. So obviously it does cause some concern because in my opinion, he's the best right back in the league. For me, we need to tie this motherfucker down quick to a contract. Tie him down. I heard that his asking price, apparently Arsenal are not contemplating anything less than 40 million. I don't even think we should put a price on his head. Nope. Because apparently he's still got 3 years left of his contract, so they can fuck off, as far as I'm concerned. Just keep saying no, keep saying no. Meanwhile, sign him to a long-term deal. Speaking of signing him to a long-term deal, what's happened to Ozil's deals? What's happened to Sanchez's deals? What's happened to Koscielny's deal? These are deals we need to sign up quick. There was a lot of talk also last weekend about Iwobi potentially doubling his money because at the moment he's on a £25,000 a week contract, which obviously to me and you, great. To a footballer, that is nothing. So I think there was talk of him signing up to potentially a 50 grand. I don't know if they would offer him one yet. I could see them offering him one at the end of the season, but apparently he's only recently signed his £25,000 contract. So I don't see Arsenal being in too much of a hurry to do that one. The one that worries me a little bit is the Santi one. Like, for some reason, Arsenal just haven't offered him a contract. He still has a couple of years of him left. I'm not sure what they're thinking with that one. Just letting that go on and on and on. Meanwhile, Santi's probably thinking, well, boy. Because apparently Juventus are sniffing all over him. And technically, they can talk to him in January, no problem if we don't offer him a contract. You know, his last year. We don't learn our lesson when it comes to these contract things. That's my worry, that we never seem to learn our lesson. The only thing that makes me think maybe this is intentional is because I think maybe they feel like he's just started the wrong year of 30, and they feel, rightly or wrongly, that he started to, or he will start to decline in performance. But surely, you can't be telling me he's not worth at least another 12-month contract. I'd like to see us get that wrapped up quickly. And then, then the other interesting one was, so obviously there's still a lot of speculation about the fact that we're still interested in Mahrez. Remember that? Mate, it's easy to forget for the simple reason that the man hasn't been anywhere near what he did last season. Surprise, surprise. Neither has Vardy. Surprise, surprise. But there is talk over. Well, basically, Leicester players like talking about us, innit? Particularly Vardy and Mahrez. Well, to be fair to Mahrez, this was the first thing that he came out with. But Vardy, oh my gosh, I've read, I shit you not, at least 5 times since the summer to now about how easy it was to reject Arsenal, or why he rejected Arsenal, or something. It's just like, all right, mate, no one cares no more. No one from Arsenal cares anymore. Anyway, so yeah, I personally believe we bought someone, as stupid as it will sound now. I get it will sound stupid, but I personally believe we bought someone who I think is going to be better anyway. That's just my opinion. I guess we'll wait and see. And then onwards and upwards to Swansea, really. Like I say, it was a slow footballing week. You know, there ain't really much that's happened. It's really just about getting back on track. Premier League is back. Let's do this thing. I don't really have a lot of thought. I might as well do my Swansea preview here. I never do previews in the shows, but I guess because it's such a slow week, let's include it as part of this thing. So I'll adjust my synopsis and put it in a synopsis to make it clear that I'm also doing a Swansea preview. So the Swansea game will be an interesting one. I think predominantly for the reason that I believe that they are a bit of a bogey team for us. Take last year, for example, absolutely smashed these guys off the park. Only for them to score 2 goals and they beat us 2-1. And I honestly, there were a lot of results that did me in. I think for me, the one that hurt the most last season was 4-0 at Southampton. That one desperately hurt me because it also happened on Boxing Day as well. But it desperately hurt me, that one. But there was one that really, really pissed me off. It was this game. Because when I say we should have battered these guys, we should have stuck about 6 or... And yeah, Fabianski had a good game, but he wasn't, like, amazing. We were just that shit at finishing. And our defense was woeful last year. That, quite frankly, it was a miracle that they got 2 goals. Never mind... I think about it now and I still get annoyed. How on earth did they win that game last year? And they're just a bit of a bogey team for us. Like, sometimes we go up to Swansea, we lose those games. I remember a couple of years ago they got like a fucking draw, and you're like, what on earth are we doing? Michu has terrorized us a couple of times. So historically, this is not an easy game for us. On paper, it should be. You know, they've just had a new manager in. They're in a bit of disarray at the moment. They don't seem to be. They seem to be scoring goals, but they seem to be letting in a lot, and they seem to be conceding a lot of possession, which should play into our hands. But I don't know. And this is the thing. As much as you can talk about it being in disarray and they've just had a new manager effect might take place. I know a lot of people seem to be underestimating Bob Bradley. The one thing I'll say is that the last appointment aside, Swansea generally tend to be on point when it comes to appointing these nobody managers. They usually come from left wing, and then suddenly they turn out to be a revelation. And you know, I didn't even realize that this Bob Bradley has quite a lot of experience in like other countries and stuff. So I'm not completely writing these guys off. And I've heard people predict things like 3-0, 4-0. At work, somebody reckons it'll be 4-1. I'm like, I don't know about all that. For me, I think it depends. Because we do one of two things. We either start really sluggishly after an international break, or it takes us time to get into the game. I think it will probably be the latter, where we won't necessarily score, but we won't necessarily be in too much trouble because they themselves are still trying to build confidence. I think we will go with the exact same team that we've always done. I know a lot of people believe that because Alexis travelled to South America, that Wenger might be tempted to rest him. I don't see that happening. I think if Drury was fit and available, there'd be a fair chance of that happening. But I think Wenger will go with the same team. So I think he'll go with Cech. I think he'll go with Bellerin. I think he'll go with Mustafi, Koscielny, Monreal. I think he'll go with Iwobi. I think he'll go with Ozil. Apparently Ozil was fit. So I guess there's two really key questions of doubt here. Who plays on the right and who plays alongside Santi? Because I think Santi is 100% playing. Now, I ask those questions because Coquelin is the other person who is fit and available. I told you we had a lot of good injury news this week, and Coquelin is another one who's supposed to be in the squad, and he's fit and available. And Wenger prefers, he's gone on record saying this, he prefers Coquelin and Santi as a pair than he does Santi and Xhaka as a pair. I'd personally like to see Xhaka stay there. I know he had a bit of, I know the last couple of games, to be honest, he's been a little bit, not poor, but just not his usual self. So he may seek the opportunity to put Coquelin there. I still think he'll play Xhaka there. And I think he'll play Theo there, despite the fact that Theo played really poorly for England the last couple of games. Especially the last game I saw him against. I was so disappointed the way he played. What was it, Tuesday they played? Just back to old Theo. And I hope I don't see none of that for Arsenal. Do that for England all day. Don't do that for Arsenal. So I'm hoping playing in a bit of a fast, fluid side will help Theo's game. Because England are anything but that. So I'm hoping that was the only reason he was so poor. It always worries me with Theo because kind of after the last game, all you were seeing were Theo quotes. And this is the thing with Theo. The thing that irritates me the most. For some unusual reason, you can almost time it like clockwork. Whenever Theo has a good performance, good couple of games, he'll start coming out with all the quotes in the world about how he's done this to improve his game and how he's done that to improve his game, or he's done this to have more confidence, or it'll be some sort of Theo quote. Guarantee it. If he plays well on Saturday, I guarantee you'll see a Theo quote from somewhere. He's the first to speak in the press. Almost the same way that if Arsenal gets smoked by someone, Mertesacker is always the first to talk about how, we should be defending better, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. When 9 times out of 10, he's the main culprit of why we got spanked. You can time these two to perfection. And I started seeing those quotes last week, and in my head I'm thinking, oh no, this guy's already taken his performances for granted. Sometimes I wish he'd just leave the press alone. I know he's a good, articulate talker. I just wish he'd leave the press alone and just focus on what he needs to do. Just focus on your performance. Don't worry about giving a quote of the week and talking about how you improved this or how you saw some sort of guru or how you did this or how you... Leave that alone and just focus on what you're doing. I can't criticize him too much because he has been playing well. Just it worries me because I saw him for England and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, we're back to old Theo. Please, I don't want to see old Theo. You need to take whatever limitless pill you've been taking and get back to this new, improved, dynamic Theo. I never thought I'd use the word dynamic to describe Theo Walcott. But yeah, so there's that. And then obviously there's Alexis, who I'm hoping will be all right. He has had a long trip. Played really well for Chile without scoring, actually, midweek. So I'm hoping that he will continue to be the Alexis that I know. I've given up putting him in my fantasy football team. I've genuinely given up putting him in my team. And I'll tell you why. Much like, and I know it will sound hilarious now, but when Rooney was actually good, much like Rooney, these are the type of players that as soon as I put them in my team, they start doing really badly. So I'm just not going to put him in my team. Again, I shit you not, this actually happens. So yeah. So these are the things that this is a team I think will carry us forward. I keep having this feeling we'll go 2-0 up and concede 1. Go with 2-1 as my predicted result. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think we'll go 2-1 up. Even though I know our defense has been super tight lately. Long may that continue. I just got this bad feeling that there'll be some sort of stupid goal. And then we'll have a nervous 10, 15 minutes or so. So prepare yourself for that. Prepare your blood pressure, your heart rate. I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be a nervous game. I do. Swansea are our baby team. So, and that's that really. So, brief episode, you guys. I told you it was a quiet week. So let me know what you think about the game. Let me know if you have any thoughts in terms of my team that I picked. If you're on Twitter and you're not following me already, please do follow me at Colossal Chig. And I hope to bring you a review on Saturday evening / Sunday. All right, guys. Take care. Peace.